What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in again to another episode of the Man Listen Show. Before we get started, let's hear a few words from our sponsors. Please buy the new book by Arika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Arika Nicole Moore.
Moments matter. Make them timeless. For every celebration, every milestone, and every special moment, make it timeless with the rich, velvety, smooth taste of Timeless Vodka. Make sure you check them out at www.timelessvodka.com.
I got to kick this thing off. Yeah. Can I kick it off? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play. Please share the show and make sure you use the hashtag ManListen. I'm your host, Mar B. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. C, what's up with you?
Hey, what's good?
Everything's good. Arika, how you doing?
I'm good. Hey, everybody.
All right. And my boy Lab, what's up with you, bro?
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much, man. So laughter is essential to the soul. And we figured with everything that was going on, our audience and everybody who we try to reach needs a good laugh. And to help us out with that, we have a very special guest, Comedienne Kym D. Kym, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello. What's up, you guys? What's up?
Well, not much. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So tell us where you're from and how you got into comedy.
I am from St. Louis, born and raised. I got into comedy because my my job ended in 2009. My son went off to college. I was just fumbling around trying to figure out what to do next. The little severance check only lasted so long. Unemployment in Missouri ain't, it's not much. But I was going to open mics. I've always been a comedy fan, comedy groupie. I bartended for years and all comedy clubs at at big clubs in St. Louis, and we had comedy very often. So I was just like, it was one of my things that I wanted to do, but I was afraid to do. I tried to do it back in 2002, and I wrote a lot of material, but unfortunately, I was with somebody who was the equivalent of probably like a Black Trump. And he said that I wasn't funny enough to do comedy. And, when you with somebody who kind of shoot down your dreams or whatever. So I never tried it at that time. So in 2009, I was going to open mics, and they had this open mic at this bar, at this comedy club, this only Black-owned comedy club in St. Louis called the House of Comedy. And the open mic was kind of fairly one of those kind that was, it seemed like, it wasn't the kind that was going to like dog you. It was the kind that if you got up and you did okay. If you didn't do okay. So I got up the nerve, I wrote my material, and I called everybody to come on out and try to support me on the Wednesday night. And they came out, and all my ex-co-workers, everybody and anybody who has said, if you ever go on stage, we gonna come. And about almost 60 people showed up.
Wow.
And I started doing it. I won the contest. I tied with another comedian. And when you tie or you win, you get to feature for the headliner for the following week. So I got to feature for Marcus Combs. He's from Chicago. He's in Atlanta now. So I knew Marcus from the comedy clubs. So that's how I got started. So I've been doing it off and on since then.
You know, it's something that you said somebody shot down your dreams and how you bought into what they said at first.
Because when your comedy is, I mean, everybody know, you can kind of clown. You know how you got that one uncle or that friend, that coworker who funny. It's
right.
funny. They at work or they at the family reunions, they at the get-togethers, and they funny. But to get on stage and do that exact thing in front of an audience, in front of people you don't know, in front of strangers, and trying to get them to laugh, is totally different. So I had stage fright, very horrible stage fright. I still have probably I would say an ounce of it, a couple of ounces of it. It gives you that nervousness that you do need to perform. So when somebody that confidence that you need to get on stage, you need that. And if somebody shoots it down, it's a lot. So especially somebody who you're with or supposed to be in your corner. Right. So you do need you need your support system, right, in the comedy world. So it took me 7 more years to even try it. So I figured like that was 7 years I could have been doing a whole bunch, but it was time. I don't know. It was timing. Everything happened for a reason.
Do you think there's a different standard for female comedians for men in terms of like how funny you are and what you have to do in terms of like the type of comedy you have to do to be successful?
Of course. We see that every day. It's a double standard. Women, we can have the same content. But men will say, "Oh, y'all talk about the same thing." It's like y'all do too. Women, it's much harder, especially for Black female comics. We have to go harder. It's just it's harder to get like books. Say if they book three male comics, they may not book a female comic because they would have to pay for the extra room for a female comic. But if they get 4 male comics, they can book 2 double rooms. So it's always that push you have to get to say, well, I'm open to share a room with one of the male comics. Things like that if you want to be booked. So I had to start being like that and just like making my own way and making my own work. Like, trying to get off into other things as far as hosting and moderating shows and doing a lot of other things more than just comedy. Like saying I can be an MC and host parties and doing all this other stuff. Even though I wasn't always great at it, just even saying I can do it and trying it,
Gotcha. And what makes it funny is we caught a lot of flack, seeing myself in particular, Arika too, when Monique was going hard against Netflix, and so many people were siding against her. So many Black people were siding against her. And I just thought that was extra foul because on this show, we value Black women. I'm married to a Black woman, Laz married to a Black woman, I have Black mother, Black, cousins. And we need Black women to be as successful as we are in everything, with equitable pay and to have the access to all the things that we as men have as well. And it was just very disappointing to see how they did Monique because, they may have not liked her style of comedy, or they may have not liked how she interacted with their favorite celebrity. But her struggle, in my opinion, was for you. It was for other women as well, because if a white comedian, what was that big white girl's name that got the Netflix deal?
It was Amy.
Yeah, okay.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, so if Amy Schumer can get paid, and Monique, who is has all the accolades that an actress or a comedian would want, can't get paid, then what can they do to somebody who doesn't have those accolades, who's coming up and trying to make it up the ranks? So I just that just stuck in my craw, and I wanted you to speak about what it was to be like a Black woman comic in this industry.
I'm gonna tell you about the Monique thing. I got what Monique was saying. However, this is a game. No matter what you say, the industry itself, because it's so hard for the Black female comic to break through. You probably can name 3 top female comics and people, Black female comics, and then people will say it's harder to cross over. You'll stay in that what they call like chicken circuit. You'll stay in just the Black audience. You'll stay Black popular. You won't get that crossover appeal. So what Monique did is when she got the Oscar, she got the crossover appeal, but then she did what you just don't do when you do that. It's like she spoke against the 3 most powerful Black producers, people in the industry, whereas she can speak up on her truth, but the way she did it, I always believe it's not what you do, it's how you do it, because then she ostracized herself and she prevented herself from succeeding and doing other things that she could have done. Whereas you can speak up for yourself, but you can also do it in a manner that you can still stand on your truth, but you can also say, this is why I am what I am, or I believe in what I believe on. For her to go onto her show and say what she said against, however you feel about, how she felt about those people that she said, but when she told them to do what they did and blah, 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 and I talk, that language is my language I use on stage.
What she said, she told him to suck her, you know what?
Yes, she did. Yeah. And I was there for it on that kind of language because I use that kind of language. However, I would never have used that kind of language unless I knew from that get-go, once I said those words, I knew I was done for those people, that industry, and I knew I was getting ready to take this L, this big L.
Yeah.
Because after that, she will, and I have said this, and if you notice, she has not been able to recover.
No.
She will not be able to recover.
Yeah, because she went against Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. But the funny thing about it is, as news came out about each one of them, Tyler's kind of redeemed himself with his philanthropy, but like the shadiness of Lee Daniels and Oprah being kind of funny style.
Even Oprah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too. I mean, she might not have should have said it, but like pretty much everything she said like surfaced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't that she couldn't say that, like it wasn't like how she felt, because how you feel is how you feel. But to think you can continue to have a career that you want to have in Hollywood or in the Black in that setting where these people hold a lot of the power to what you're trying to do.
Yeah, they're the gatekeepers.
It's right. It's how you play the game, and you can play the game and still maintain your dignity and your things. Like it's certain people like right now that in St. Louis that I stand on who I will not mess with, and it's not about just the money, because it's like I won't mess with them. It can't be the money from them. It will have to be from a third source, and we can work together. But to me it was if you notice, I felt that she could have played it so differently because she was not relevant at the time. She was not on tour at the time. She had not had movies out at the time. So guess what? You go and you tell Netflix, well, this is what I want. They didn't give you what you want. You show them, I'm still Monique. I'm still capable of bringing this. And you work your deal, and then you go show them, and then you negotiate for more money.
Right.
Amy Schumer was relevant. She was doing movies. She was doing this. And I'm not comparing white to Black. I'm comparing comic to comic and what's relevant, how people see things. And in the comedy, especially in the comedy world, they seeing what's funny now. People can say Kevin Hart is not funny to them, but Kevin Hart has sold out stadiums. He is what's making money for his, the promoters and the people who's investing in him. So you can call him off not funny all day long. The dollars is what making sense. So for Monique,
yeah.
I'm just saying, personally, she could feel that way about Oprah. I feel certain ways about Oprah and Gail. When I said I feel like Snoop Dogg, he said what he said about Gail. I was all the way there for it. I felt the same way.
It's funny because, on the prior show, we did a show about that, and Lav and I, the two guys on the show, we were the only ones that said Snoop was wrong. But, Rika and Steve said just like you, hey.
I'm a female, and I don't believe he was wrong. He said what he said because I felt like she was foul. It's just because it came from a man, it was harsh. But had a female had said that, it wouldn't have been the backlash.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a white man.
Or no, it would.
Yeah,
I think even with a white man, but you're right, because a black man said it. We don't want to hear a black man being that disrespectful to another black woman. But guess what? I said it like this. He said what he said. Where was the lie? Where was the lie?
Listen, that part.
It goes back to what you said. It's not necessarily what you say, but how you say it. You're right. A lot of what he said was true. It's just, I didn't like it being said in that way in the public light. That's the only thing. Yeah.
And then his mom, he said his mom even was saying, that wasn't how I raised you to talk. But Snoop been calling, Snoop is in his 50s or early 50s. Snoop been calling, Gail ain't Gail our auntie, she our auntie, she old enough to be some of our auntie, but Snoop been calling females B's and H's and everything else since the beginning of his career. It's just the fact that I think because he added dog to it.
Yeah.
I think the dog is what made it, but the dog is what made it funny to me, because I'm not gonna even lie. I laughed. And I laughed at a whole lot of stupid stuff.
I laughed.
I laughed.
I did too. Mom said she didn't raise him like that. I'm like, where was your mom when you was making all those albums?
Where was moms in 93?
Right.
I was going to say, where was your mom in the 90s when you came out calling everybody? And I was right there dancing to it, baby. And I'm 47 and I was dancing to all of that stuff. And they talk about how I'm talking about, I was there for it. But when he called Gail that girl, I was like, and then when they said OJ was in jail, telling Snoop right on it, he was, girl, when I say I was there for it and I was bugging up. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was there for it, but I'm kind of ignorant and I laugh at a lot of stuff and some stuff that's probably not appropriate or wrong. But if it's funny, it's funny, even though it's wrong. You know how you laugh at stuff that's kind of inappropriate and wrong, right? If it's funny, it's funny.
Daily.
All the time.
You'd be like,
all the time.
You'd be like, oh my God, that was so wrong, but ooh, it was funny. I'm sorry. I laugh at funerals. I laugh at very.
Okay, you might have lost me on that
one. No, I'm sorry. I'm very I hate funerals, so I have to be at funerals, and we have to like kind of because I'm something wrong with me, so I kind of have to like crack jokes and kind of do stuff to like not get so emotional. Otherwise, I would be I would be. So I laugh at film. We joning on everybody, the preacher, everybody. So I'm just like stupid like that. So that's like another problem that I have. But yeah, I was there for it. But if you see Monique, you haven't seen Monique.
Mm-mm.
She went on tour. Yeah. Right after that, she came to Dallas and
she came to KC last year. She was on the radio here.
Comedians and no, she definitely not hitting like she should be. No, she's not. She's not.
No.
And
all she doing is doing her little jump ropes on her videos.
Monique look good though. I
love her weight loss effort, but everybody was saying her husband was like the root of like some of what she's doing and why
they got an open marriage. They got open marriage.
No, I've heard about the open marriage and I've heard them explain it. And I believe in polyamory and open marriages and stuff. So I ain't got nothing against that either. But as far as an open marriage and a business manager and what you need to decide for your wife's career, he effed that up.
Yeah, you might need a separation, but so who inspires you as a comedian? Inspired by other comedians at all?
Heck yeah. But mostly, I want to say I like Samoa. I love Samoa. I love her style. I love her.
I do too.
Samoa, and I love what's her name? Lisa Lampanelli, Queen of Mean, because she gives zero.
Put the pen down.
Oh damn! It's a nervous
thing.
Let me
throw it.
I threw it. Lisa Lampanelli. She gives zero FUCKS's. Who else?
You might as well just said it.
I know, right?
Because we got educated. Our listeners got educated kids. They can spell.
One long bleep.
Some people got to figure that out. Okay, so I love like LaWanda Pat. Guess who I like? I like the I like the combos, the Martin and Gina, the George Jefferson and the Florence and all of those, that kind of comedy. I love Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was one of the best to have ever done it. Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy. But I like the comedy that comes from your true experiences. And I write all of my comedy 100%. So it's your comedy does come from your pain. Your comedy does come from your true experiences. I've had 1,000 people call me and say, "Oh, I got a joke for you," and I'll be like, "Okay," but if I can't relate to it, it's not my truth. I was never I tried to do sales. I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell you something I don't believe in. So that's how comedy is. Even some men who I'm sitting up there talking crap, they looking all crazy at first, but they can relate. If they can relate to what I'm talking about, even if it's kind of offending them. Like one of my jokes about it in the curse word, but it's about maybe can you say BALLS somewhere?
Hey, listen. Oh, okay. So on this show, talk like you want to talk. Go ahead and cuss.
Okay. So I got a joke about long balls, and some I don't date older men because of the long balls. So some of the older men in the audience, they kind of get offended, but then they start laughing when I start describing about why the long balls offend me and the things that happen when you have long balls. So anyway,
what happens with long balls?
Things like that.
Because I'm still kind of young. My balls ain't long yet. What happens with long balls?
Do they get long?
Yeah, men balls get longer.
Gravity takes effect.
Gravity takes effect just like with women in our breasts.
Yeah.
And, but the truth from that joke did not even come from an old man who had long balls. He was fairly young. I guess he was around my age at the time or a little older than me. He just had these long balls, and the flapping noise of the long balls just remind me of a bowling bat. I don't know how old. I mean, y'all don't remember the bolo bat when we was kids, the little bolo bat we used to play with. That slapping noise just distracted me from what we was doing. So that joke came from that experience, but then it led into like the long balls. But anyway, so it's just stuff we write about. It's really about like, life stuff and things, and people become part of the joke, and then it's just they don't know that they become part of your joke or whatever, but it's basically life.
I was just about to ask you, so you put somebody in a joke, and then do they come for you, or they kind of roll with the punches on it? You got family and friends that you got a joke about. You don't say their name, but they know who you talking about.
Well, 9 times out of 10, most of the people that I have made those jokes about, I've not seen them at the comedy shows.
Okay.
So, but it's like my friends and my sisters, like say they come to my show and they right there in the audience and they've done something, I will make them a part of the show. But I'm not a comic who gets just, comes out and start just joning on people. We known for joning in St. Louis.
Right.
So I'm not, because when you do that.
I was just about to say that's a St. Louis term, because our show is for everywhere. Joning is like clowning or playing the dozens. Those are
it's
ranking,
a St. Louis term.
whatever they call it.
And St. Louis is known for joning, but the comics who come out just straight joning, usually you don't really have no material, or you're not working on your material first, so you kind of like trying to just do the audience. So, but no, I will make the show about something. Like my birthday show was back in December, and I found out that my sister had sent a video of me to one of the comics, that something had happened at a wedding, and I ain't gonna tell y'all that part. But anyway, because I don't want y'all looking it up. And but anyway,
I mean, you might as well just go ahead and share it. We're gonna be on YouTube trying to find out what happened.
Trying to find it.
It ain't on you. Okay, my niece got married in December. She threw the bridal. You know how you throw the little
bouquet.
I got it right here.
She caught it. Okay.
I caught the bouquet.
Okay.
But I dived for the bouquet.
Oh, you're serious about it?
You pulled a Randy Moss.
I wasn't even serious about it because I don't even believe in marriage no more. But for whatever reason, I don't know what got over me, and I died for the bouquet. I end up knocking the little flower girl down, and it was whatever. So they got this on
video.
And my sister is a hater. She right under me. I'm the oldest of 8 girls. So the one right under me ended up sending this to another comic who, me and him, we fight all the time. And he is my friend. Matter of fact, he's one of my mentors who, like, when I wanted to do comedy, he was the one, like, he didn't ever tell me that he had this video to the night of my birthday show. And he showed it to me about 20 minutes before I had to go on stage. And he said that my sister sent it to him. So guess who became part of my act that night?
Your hating sister.
My hating sister. The one with the bionic uterus. Who like the one who 1 year younger than me and just popped out 3 kids. So so it's just stuff like that. Who that it don't be part of your plan. You got your own set, and then people become part of your show.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you. So when you do stand up, is the majority of it scripted, or do you kind of improv like stuff like that?
The way I learned at the house, the way you learn, you have a set. You start off like 3 minutes. You gotta have a strong 3 minutes, then a strong 5, then a strong 7 and 10, and you build up. So yes, it is scripted, but the ad lib in between on how you come out with your music, the DJ may mess up, the audience, all that other stuff. Just you gonna ad lib. It's gonna be some stuff that's improvisational, that's just happened that you have no control over.
So how you adjusting to not being able to perform at the clubs? I mean, I know y'all in Missouri. I don't think they've opened up the clubs.
Nothing's open.
Yeah. So
I had started doing like little live videos, but like I wasn't really doing like stand up and doing jokes and stuff. I would go live, and me and my niece I would have a staff, but she was everything. She was my executive producer, my lighting. She was everything, and then it was hilarious. But we would just come on here and just talk and just BS with people, But it was like a way to just kind of stay relevant while we were down.
Yeah.
So you just trying to keep, keep stuff going, It's real important.
Because you with Instagram and D Nice with his quarantine parties, you saw how that inspired all the different DJs to do their sets, because people were like, man, we need something to keep us going, and people were enjoying the music. And that's why we wanted to have you on the show, because we think it's just as important for people to laugh, because folks are stressed out, because like we're going through like a collective trauma right now.
Yeah.
For people, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it for like myself, I've dealt with depression and anxiety. Like sometimes this stuff right here will hit you, and you separated from your family and stuff, and you need a laugh, something to you know, it's good for your soul to be able to laugh and to be able to realize, you know what, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be all right with this. So that's why we talk about just have a light show and just laugh at ourselves, and you know, bring to the forefront a comedian like yourself.
I suffer from anxiety and depression. Laughter, the comedy is an outlet for me. It is therapy for me. People had asked me to do it, so it wasn't something that I planned to do. And it's a lot of work, you know, when you think I'm like, oh, I'm putting together this, I don't care for Wendell Williams, but then I had to give her a lot of props doing the live
thought
show.
she said Wendell. I'm sorry to interrupt. I see was you laughing. She said Wendell Williams.
I'm just getting here right now.
Right.
I don't care for Wendell, but then I feel like after the show, when you trying to entertain somebody or do something for an hour, and you know, it's a lot to do. And then afterwards, I was musty, I was tired, I was hungry, I hadn't eaten all day. And I'm like, this is a lot. And she has a whole staff, and all I had was one person, and you know, my daughter-in-law, and it was like, and she just sat on the side, like, you know, on Instagram. She wasn't doing nothing. She was just here laughing. So it was like, it's a lot of work. So it was like, that comedy for me is my outlet. I need I need it. I was telling Marv or before, like when I tell people I need it just as much as people need it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can be going through a lot of stuff, but to get on like Facebook, my page is like really, 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 really ignorant, and I can be clowning all day on Facebook, but really going through other stuff personally, but you may never know it. So it's something that I need too. So the laughter, like you said, the loneliness, all the other stuff that we dealing with, this traumatic change, like, you know, lifestyle change that we've had to deal with, everything. Our kids are even depressed. The little kids, my little nieces, and, you know, everybody's dealing with something that we've never had to deal with in our lifetime. So we need laughter. Laughter is medicine. It's definitely my medicine.
Do you have like a network of local Black comedians that you like keep in touch with to kind of keep each other uplifted and motivated and like kind of mentor each other or something like that?
Yeah, but not in a sense of like that, like we are all in one. But people I can call Longhorn, I can call Jesse Teller, I can call. I know all the comics in St. Louis. I would say 98% of them, except probably maybe the super newer ones who are not performing a lot. But yeah, of course, we can call each other. We can be on Facebook clowning each other and things like that. But yeah, but that's what we do. You know, St. Louis is super small. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say this. I thought that when I first started doing comedy, I thought I would have a lot of problems with females. You know, when you get on stage, you think you're going to be so critiqued and judged by everything you do for as females. But I had more problem with some of the males at the time, because some men don't like funny females. They don't want a woman to be as funny or funnier than them. Or they make excuses like, oh, she's just talking about penis jokes, or she's just talking about this or that. But I'm like, you all are talking about the same jokes. So, but we do have a network. We do have people, you know, we can call and, you know, go over jokes with, and I'm writing this joke and how, you know, would it sound better this way, you know. I ain't gonna say a lot of us use it, but we should use it more.
Mm-hmm. Have the Chinaman's open back up in St. Louis?
Did they close?
They did have to close, but if they have, I'm not messing with them. Because that's where the virus has started from.
Man, exactly. That's where it started anyway.
And I will keep ordering from AliExpress because I can bleach my packages.
Listen. You sound like my sister, because she's not about to stop getting her wholesale deliveries for nobody.
Stop getting my wholesale delivery, baby. Them packages, I can bleach them little packages and keep it moving. But yeah.
Yeah, she said bleach. The Lysol hard to find, huh?
Yeah, it is.
It
We
is.
black folk, before we had lifestyle and all this old fancy, all these disinfectant wipes and all. What we had bleach.
Bleach.
We
Yeah.
had Pine Sol and Clorox.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember when folks used to boil Fabuloso?
I thought
Man,
that was
I got some Fabuloso in the closet right now,
They
though.
used, they used to
think I
boil
do too.
Fabuloso. They used to boil Fabuloso to make the house smell good. Then they realized
Now they want to know why they got lung problems and they on the
Right.
that's fabuloso.
You
That's
ain't
like
supposed
the
to be-
Mexicans. I heard of
you-
boiling pine saw.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of the boiling the Fabuloso and the Pine Sol till like a friend told me, oh, you know you could boil Fabuloso. I was like, that can't be right.
Nah,
Right. Fumes on the package just say do not inhale.
Thank you.
it had your house
It
smell
mean-
good though, but if you don't open up that
It
window,
do.
yeah, you at risk.
It do, but it can't be right. And now
Nah.
if they telling you, please don't boil Fabuloso.
Nah,
You
it
gotta
ain't,
warn people these days.
yeah,
Right.
it ain't right. It ain't right. It ain't.
Y'all's president.
You talked about your social media. Let everybody know where they can find you.
I'm on Facebook under Kym Dobbs, my part of my government name, but it's Kym Kym Dobbs. I'm on Instagram under Comedienne Kym D, which is the comedian is the female version of comedian, but it's spelled with a K. I'll probably have to spell that out for some people, but it's KOMEDIENNE Kym D, KYMD.
Okay.
That's kind of complicated, but it's not. And I'm on Twitter. It's the same thing, Comedienne Kym D. But I'm not on Twitter too much because I only get on Twitter to bash y'all president.
Y'all.
Obama?
No,
That's my president.
okay. I was just checking.
All
I don't have
right,
a
all
president. I don't have a
I only
Twitter.
get on Twitter to talk crap and so I haven't been on Twitter since when he won and I kept impeach 45 to 40. I was like, so I'm not even been on Twitter no more. I mean, yeah. So I'm not on Snapchat and I am on TikTok, but I haven't made any TikTok videos yet because I'm gonna tell y'all, people dog Milli Vanilli, but that's some talent to be able to lip sync that stuff and get it right
And be on
That's some
time.
talent.
It's hard.
It
It's
is.
harder than it
It's
looks.
very hard.
It is.
It's very hard. So
Yeah,
I have
y'all
not done
never
any
watched-
TikTok video.
Y'all never watched Putting on the Hits back in the day. Y'all remember Putting on
Yes,
the Hits?
I have.
I don't know what that is.
It was a show where you
Putting on the
basically
Hits.
went on to lip sync, and you could
Yep.
pick, who
Okay.
did a better job of lip syncing and doing a routine to the music or whatever.
And think I've been to like
Karaoke.
my ex used to own a drag club, the one who told me I couldn't I wasn't funny enough, but ironically he probably wasn't straight enough. But anyway, he used to own a drag club. And
Shots fired.
those queens are they are like the lip syncing. They got it down.
I went to
So,
Hamburger Mary's and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't do any of this.
they've been doing that forever. So like that lip syncing is no joke, especially when they do. I mean, they put all the work into it with the outfits and the hair and the pack. So they've been doing that forever. But that lip syncing ain't no joke. I can't.
Well, listen, I'm so glad you came on the show, and
I'm so glad you invited me.
and I'm so glad that you didn't let a naysayer deter you from your dreams, because there's a lot of people who will try to diminish you because they don't want you to shine, because they're scared that you may outshine them, or you may do something that they themselves are scared to do. So I'm glad that you finally worked up the nerve and you got on the right stage, because you in St. Louis, because you could have went to Brooklyn and got on a different type of stage, but you got on the comedian stage, and we're so proud of you. So
They say, but St. Louis is one of the roughest one of the roughest, tough. Like, see, who Arika? You from East St. Louis?
Yeah.
Girl, you know how hard this St. Louis crowd is.
I mean, East St. Louis is, we real nice. We misunderstood a lot. We
Oh,
Girl, you see
misunderstood.
my face.
Yeah.
Misunderstood. Really?
I understood a lot in
But
East
East
St.
St.
Louis.
Listen.
Yes.
Okay,
Hey,
listen.
When you live in St.
We
Louis,
have a lot of triggers.
hey, when you live in
Red light.
Y'all do not listen to her. The East St. Louis crowd is all the crowd that come to all the comedy shows, and they will boo the hell out of you too. If you can do comedy in St. Louis, you can do comedy basically anywhere.
I've heard that a few
because
times.
they tough. Now they won't. One thing about that, women, they won't boo a woman, but they will give you crickets, and that's even worse.
Since somebody discouraged you, do you have any advice for young Black women comedians coming up?
Don't let nobody discourage you. Let nobody say you can't do it. My son even said it. He was like, "Mama, you can't be a comedian." I think this was 09. This was probably 7. So 2 years before, he was probably like 15. He told me I couldn't or shouldn't. And Ray Lapowski Ray is originally from Chicago. He moved to LA, and I was dropping him off at his hotel after one of the shows, and I was bartending. And Ray gave him an autograph. He's like, "Let your mom do comedy or something." So when Ray came back to St. Louis, it was like those full circle moments. Mm-hmm. And Ray was so proud to see that I had started doing comedy. But even your own kid, if your own kid be like, I just want to say, I guess the men in my life ain't shit. I just accidentally cursed. I accidentally cursed, but I was in love with one of them, and the other one I gave birth to somebody. But they said, when they take the child away and they bring the child back, and I don't believe that he's mine, but raised him. I've raised him. I sent him to college, and and all of this. But for that child to say, you could be from him, so it's like the two men in my life that I probably thought I loved the most. Because I'm still even debating on that one. But they shot down my dream. So I would advise any woman, you just gotta be like how you say, women, we gotta just keep pushing. Don't let nobody shoot your dreams down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
I respect that.
Thank you for coming on the show. We'll definitely have you back. We really enjoyed you.
I appreciate the invite. I'm sorry that I get cursed a few times.
I do it all the time.
Yes, she does.
Don't worry about it.
All the time.
Fine.
Yeah, we good. We good. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up the show. Make sure you follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. And make sure you subscribe to the show on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Bye.